Welcome, beautiful people, to my channel. It's your girl, Positive Vibes Des, better known as Des Bless, or just Destiny. And I wanted to welcome you back or to another Wellness Wednesdays. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share so that we can get this video out to the masses. In today's video, I wanted us to discuss intellectual wellness, what that is, and do we need to be smart in order to obtain intellectual wellness? Let's talk about it. So in my What is Wellness video, I give a brief description of what intellectual wellness, as you can see right here. Intellectual refers to how you're expanding your knowledge, your creativity, basically how you're feeding your brain. So the textbook definition has to do with one's ability to engage in expanding one's knowledge and skills through creativity, curiosity, and continuous learning and exploration. So, okay, that's the textbook definition, right? What does that look like in everyday? Being able to, research about something that you don't know, right? Being able to keep your mind stimulated, whether you're doing like daily crossword puzzles, Sudoku, like those things that's going to get your brain stimulated, even if you're playing like memory games and stuff like that on your phone, and your overall openness to wanting to learn about different things, right? Whether you immerse yourself in a different culture or learn a new language, different things like that, like your ability and willingness to want to continue learning day to day something new so you can grow to your fullest potential, right? Because you're being exposed to so many different things. And that saying, you learn something new every day, is a cliche, but it's one of those things, like if you are actively engaged in intellectual wellness, you are going to be learning something new every day. So I wanted to come to you guys and give you a few practical ways in which you can improve your intellectual wellness. One of the main things that is widely researched and said to help, build your brain capacity, get your mind activated, is physical activity, right? The research studies show, and I'll be sure to link down below where I got my information from, but you can research it yourself. That's part of intellectual wellness, right? But research studies show that physical activity, exercise, when you're doing those things, that's when your brain is most activated, right? And you are able to kind of get the most clarity, and your brain is able to function at its highest power, because all of the technical stuff, like the oxygen moving to the brain and stuff like that through the physical release, helps with brain functioning. So first practical tip: get out there, try and exercise, move, be moving daily. And maybe there's days when you're listening to music while you exercise, or maybe there's days you're listening to an informational podcast, or you're listening to an audiobook, or listening to a video where they're teaching, explaining about something. You're even listening to this video where you're learning about intellectual wellness while you're moving. So that can help you to have your intellectual wellness expanded even more through being active and learning something or listening to something that you learned from at the same time. Another practical tip to help improve intellectual wellness is getting optimal sleep, right? If you also watch my physical wellness video, you'll see, or you'll hear me talk about getting sleep, right? Sleep is a key component to all aspects of physicality with our body, not only for physical, but mental and emotional. Getting sleep, or the right amount of sleep, is really important to be able to have your brain, reset, do what it's got to do, take in, put things where they need to go, and be able to function at its best after it's recharged, reset, and back up and running, right? So I know a lot of the times, especially in this day and age, everything's about grind, team no sleep. But team no sleep is not going to help you function at your best, especially if you're running a business. There has to be some type of balance. So yeah, I get that if you are grinding, do what you got to do, have your own business, things have to get done, but at the same time you have to know your limits and when you need to get some sleep, and the importance of sleep for helping intellectual wellness expand, improve, and be at its best. Another practical tip in which you can use to help expand your intellectual wellness is, as I mentioned earlier, like doing daily things that are going to stimulate your mind. And again, whether that being like crossword puzzles, reading a book, or any type of like mental challenge, I think that also helps. And these things also help with your brain functionality and working at its optimal best. But it also can help with memory and help to prevent like down the line things that can or may come up, whether it's Alzheimer's, dementia, stuff like that. Like the more you activate your brain, the better it will be for you, or the better it will treat you when you kind of get up there in age, right? So being intentional about like, okay, it's a gotta do the day-to-day things, but let me take some time. All right, I'm gonna take these 15 minutes to listen to an audiobook, or I'm gonna take these 20 minutes to listen to a podcast, I'm gonna take 10 minutes to work on a puzzle, whatever it is. But like constantly trying to keep your brain challenged aside from the routine things that we have to do, because routine things, they just come in second nature, so we know we got to do them, but that comes easily. It takes brain power, but not that much brain power, as opposed to if you're like sitting down intentionally trying to figure something out, problem solving and stuff like that. That stuff makes a difference. Another practical tip in which you can use to optimize intellectual wellness is similar to what I previously mentioned about like doing crossword puzzles, things to challenge or stimulate your brain, is being creative, and whatever creative looks like to and for you, because you're giving your brain a challenge to come up with, how can I bring this vision, or how can I bring this thing to life, how can I make this thing, or how can I put this thing together. And even something as simple as like assembling a bookshelf or something like that, that can serve as like, you know, your brain having to work to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and just doing things that like spark your imagination and allow you to be able to keep your mind moving, flowing, and going. The final practical tip that can be used for improving intellectual wellness is expose yourself to new things, right? A lot of times we stay in our comfort zone, we stick with what we know, and yes, that can serve its purpose for some things, but being able to expose ourselves to different things and put ourselves in situations that we are new to, again, causes us to use our brain to be able to say, okay, how can I figure this out? And let me just give an example. If you go to a different country that speaks a different language, you're going to have to figure out some way, somehow, how to communicate with these people. So you pick up, or you learn little things, or, you know, you find ways to immerse yourself in that culture to then become familiar with it. So it's like putting yourself in situations that are unfamiliar to you, because then you have to figure out how to get familiar with it. And that gives you the ability to be open-minded and not closed-minded, try new things, and intentional about seeking those type of experiences. So those are the few tips that I have for helping you to optimize intellectual wellness. And it's not about how smart you are. By no means intellectual wellness like, oh, you have to be book smart or know like facts and stuff like that. No, it's not about that. It's about your ability to keep your mind stimulated and expand your knowledge and challenge your brain, you know, on a day-to-day basis. And again, like I said, this can also have benefits for in the long run to help prevent from Alzheimer's and dementias, things that really affect, you know, your memory, your brain, because the more you work your brain, the stronger it's going to be. The brain is a muscle just like every other part of our body. So being aware that you have to get it moving, you have to get it active, you have to stimulate it in order for it to function at its best, very similar to physical wellness. With all that being said, I want to be able to hear from you guys. What do you do day to day or weekly to activate your brain, get your brain going, figuring things out? Let's get a conversation started down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear about it. So I hope that you've learned, can apply, and share the knowledge with someone else. And make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so that you are aware of every time that I post. And I thank you all for watching, and do know that I am always wishing you peace, love, and light.